When we start to get sore and we call it loopy, I go, oh no, Sarah's getting a little loopy. It's my favorite time of day. And we just banter and joke and stumble. We're stumbling through the mud on Napali. And guess what we start doing? We start designing our dream restaurant with the seasonal menu. And we're just talking about the lilikoi syrup. And you're just so involved in this conversation that your feet are moving and you barely realize.
My friends, welcome to another episode of the Sore Feet Show. So very excited for our guest today. She's a mother of 4 kids, 3 without any pain medicine, I was just told. Avid outdoors woman, from anything from skiing, Nordic skiing, mountain biking, hiking, paddleboarding, usually is getting hurt somehow.
Amateur. I'm in the amateur league.
No, and honestly, it is probably... This is like my training wheels episode because Sarah is probably the best conversationalist that I know. And so no pressure, Sarah.
Happy to be the guinea pig.
Sarah Henderson, welcome to the show.
Happy to be the guinea pig. Thanks, Ben Barris of Mountain Meals, for having me.
Yes, so excited. Let's jump right in. So how did you get started in the outdoors? Was it a hobby? Do you still view it as a hobby? Or was this like a childhood thing?
Outdoors versus outside is different.
Okay.
Do I view it as a hobby? We have to get outside every day.
Yeah.
But outdoors, I think of as outside,
like
off
in
the block.
nature. Yeah. So not the park. The park is outside, not outdoors, right?
Yeah, the park is outside, not outdoors.
Okay.
I don't know.
So did you start with just outside growing up, or did you go like outdoors?
Yes. Started with outside, but that line was blurred because I grew up in Albuquerque.
Okay.
Backyard, back fence, mountains. So that was an extension of our backyard.
Yeah.
We were always playing in the mountains. So I think, and I would say my parents, we were the classic Saturday morning, do the chores and then do the outside thing.
Yeah.
Soccer, swim, tennis, road trips, hikes. I think my parents were really good to get me on that path.
Yeah.
But it definitely exploded when I married Steven.
That was more of the outdoor sports, you would say.
Yes.
Not as much of like the tennis type stuff,
Yes.
but like backpacking,
Yes.
kayaking,
Yes.
all of that.
The world of water, Steven exposed me to. The world of biking and how to actually shift when you're going up a steep hill, Steven. So yeah, maybe marriage.
Yeah.
In my in college, everybody, the outdoor scene hadn't exploded when I was in college.
Right.
How
it's a new kind of booming thing.
And I was just before that, but plenty of hiking. Yeah, sure. I'm not even hardcore. Nothing hardcore until I got married. Okay, let's keep it at that. I don't know.
Yeah. That's interesting. So in Albuquerque, it was desert.
So
it's like not like what we have
going
here.
on a trail run. Oh, there's a rattlesnake. Skirt it. Yeah.
So do you still like the desert?
Love it.
Really?
I was just in the desert this past weekend hiking the Grand Canyon.
Yeah, tell us about that.
And we were passing the prickly pears on the cactuses, and it just felt like home because my mom would go out into the mountains, out our backyard, with her metal tongs and pull the prickly pears when they get really that deep purple.
Yeah.
Pull them off, put them in a bucket, boil them to get the prickers off, wear gloves to make prickly pear jam. Jelly.
Wow.
Yeah.
You're desert people.
And so when I'm in the Grand Canyon seeing all these prickly pears, I'm like, oh. And the girls are asking, what does it taste like? And it's just hard to explain.
Home.
Yeah.
Tastes like home.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I still love the desert.
So if you could choose like mountains, ocean,
Don't
desert, like what are you doing?
Oh, no. We just say our dream retirement is a condo in all 3. You got to have.
The big 3.
Oh, I can't even. I need the snow for skate skiing.
Yeah. Because that's your favorite thing.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think that's my number 1.
Yeah.
In July, I dream of skate skiing. I'm wondering if in January I dream of paddleboarding a river. I don't think as much as the July skate skiing, so I think it is my number 1. Isn't that hard to say your number? What's your number 1?
Hunting.
I already knew it was hunting.
But outside of that, I don't know.
And it's hunting on your feet, not on any other vehicle, and with a bow and arrow.
Yeah,
like
archery,
that's dialed in.
for sure. And elk.
Hey, but it's good to have a number 1.
Yeah.
What's Courtney's number 1? She's trying to figure that out
She's
right
trying
now.
to figure it out.
I know.
Because she didn't grow up even outside that much. You know,
Really?
it's like in Oklahoma, So it's hot, it's muggy.
Yeah.
It's
Bugs.
just flat. It's
Flat.
not nice. And her family, her parents aren't really outdoorsy people.
Yeah.
Big time. So she just didn't grow up doing it.
Look how much where you grow up affects it.
Huge.
Oh, I never thought of that.
Yeah. And like I love rivers because I grew up right by a river and the forest. I know.
You grew up in Idaho. Who grows up in Idaho?
It's like the dream. It's the mecca of the outdoors.
But these girls did say that I was just hiking the Grand Canyon with the 10 girls, right? And my friend Brenna said, Sarah, you love everywhere. Because I do think, even when we lived in Manhattan, Stephen and I are road biking Central Park all the time, loving it. And also renting the van in Jersey, driving upstate camping an hour away. Like, it is everywhere, and everywhere is awesome.
Yeah.
Can that be what I leave with?
Everything is awesome.
Everything is everywhere and is awesome. And everywhere has cool things and outdoor things.
Yeah.
They really do.
I think that if it was just one thing, it'd probably get boring after a while. It's like the variety.
Yeah.
Right.
But that's why this is the Mecca.
It is.
Because I could talk about that all day long too. The 1 and 2 and 3 hour radiuses of here.
Yeah. Let's get into it.
I haven't even touched it.
Yeah.
I
let's
think
get into it.
Because I'm saying everywhere has something awesome. I've wanted to do this, and geez, this is going to be my launch pad to actually do it. But what if everybody printed a local map, put a pencil in your city, and the little tie the string hour radius, or do an hour radius, a 2 hour radius, and a 3 hour radius of your hometown, so that you go, okay, we have a half day, we have after work, what's in the 1 hour radius that we haven't done yet, we have a weekend, what's in the 3 hour radius that we haven't done that, so that when the people come to visit and stay in your basement Airbnb, you can say this.
How much time do you have?
And also
what are you
just
committing to
know
this?
your own. So micro adventures, because those can be just as fulfilling and awesome as
these
macro
big epic
adventures, epic adventures.
Yeah.
So are we all going to actually do that tonight and do the pencil radius thing?
Let's do it. Let's
and
go
then,
pick up
well,
some maps.
you would have so much already marked off.
Yeah.
Which circle?
Close by.
Which circle would have the most little red X's for you? 1 hour, 2 hour, or 3 hour? And hold on,
1
is
hour.
salmon in 3 hour?
Salmon's a 3 hour.
But that's in the 3 hour circle.
Yeah. Yeah, it would be.
Dang, you've done so much in the 3 hour.
Yeah.
That's your
like,
hunting spot is in the 1 hour.
Yeah. And salmon is an area that I'm getting into. Yeah. Like I haven't grown up going to salmon a bunch, so like I know specific areas, but within the 1 hour, there's so much.
But would you say you've done half of it?
No.
Oh gosh. See, that's why we live in the best.
Especially
spot.
like all the hikes in the Yellowstone.
Do listeners know where we live, Ben?
We live in southeastern Idaho. We're like an hour 15 from Jackson Hole, Wyoming. Mm-hmm. Hour and a half from West Yellowstone.
We're an hour and a half from Grand Teton National Park and Yellowstone.
Yeah.
Which is incredible.
It's incredible.
And we're 3 hours from Sun Valley.
Mm-hmm.
So the amount of hot springs, rivers, the amount of rivers that are in our location.
Yeah, it's incredible.
The amount of hiking, it's overwhelming.
It is. There's
way.
great snow sports here because we have big, long winters and we get dumped on. The summers are beautiful. It never gets super hot. The rivers, the falls are,
and I think too, seasons play a big factor for where you grew up. Because we have a 6 month winter, we just get so excited for summer and we just live it. Yeah. Like we're soaking up the last days of sun because we know winter's coming. Yeah. So you're fulfilled in every season. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, we live in a great place.
I don't think I grew up with the 4 seasons so extreme. Like I never owned a down coat growing up. Yeah, hoodie. It just never get the volleyball hoodie would get you through the winter. Yeah. So here is that. I love the extremes.
Yeah, it does get extreme.
Yeah. But the water, like I grew up in the desert, so this water world that I'm experiencing is very new, and I've dived. Took a deep dive into it.
It's a water term. No puns intended.
Water world. Okay, so the radius. Come on, Sarah. The radius is. I think that we should all do that.
Yeah. Well, and because it's like you get to a weekend, you know you want to go and do something. It's like it's easy. You have this reference. It's like we can spend half a day.
And then you also don't go do the same thing because we all have our 2 local spots that are maybe 20 minutes away. So you should be looking in the circle. What else is 20 minutes away in a different direction?
Sure.
To shake it up.
Yeah.
We got it.
Because I've lived here forever and I haven't done half of it.
Yeah. And then you could
because I keep going to the same spots.
Because we go to what we know, which is fine. Yeah. But we have so much life, so much time, so much life to live.
I saw this. This is kind of a side thing. I saw this water bottle last night that it had like all these little stamps etched out of all the national parks.
Yeah.
And then it comes with like these sticker packs. And when you go,
cool.
you fill up your entire water bottle.
Yes. I think I've seen that with the world map, and you scratch off like, you know, is that
It's
how
like
the
a
lottery
coin
goes?
yeah.
The countries that you've been to. And
Yeah.
then it's gold underneath or something.
That's
It
cool.
feels similar.
Yeah.
Man.
We'll make our maps.
Favorite national park?
Yeah.
What's yours? Oh, don't ask me that, though. 'Cause impossible. Not impossible.
Yellowstone, probably.
Yeah?
Probably.
That's
a hard one.
I'm ordering right now. There's a book called Science of the National Parks.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like a kid encyclopedia of why the science behind the geysers, the science behind the canyon, what made it, wind, water, why are the rocks this color. Yeah, everybody should order it.
What's yours?
I mean, the new one is Grand Canyon because
That was the first thing that came to my mind.
But because I'm realizing all of the national parks could fit inside the Grand Canyon, and there's still so much space. It's just that there's so much to explore, and it's so big, and driving, and how do you get down? So there's certain places that have been explored a lot, but if you have the time, you can go up all the crevices.
Yeah.
Crevices.
Crevices.
And
Crevices,
there's a lot to explore.
Yeah.
So also just the grandeur. I mean,
and the variety.
my mother-in-law says grandeur fatigue is real.
Yeah.
So when you're hiking along, you're like, do I stop looking at the view? Because it's so awesome and I know it's the same view. Grandeur fatigue. Have you ever felt that?
Yeah, I think so.
I definitely have.
That's what I felt like when I was in salmon mule deer hunting. Because, I mean, it's like 20-some days up there hunting, and it's just grandeur. The whole time you're in this huge mountainous country, and it's just everywhere you look is beautiful.
So then is it easy to stop looking up and you look down at your sore feet?
Yeah, at the sore feet.
And
the
you're
sore
like,
feet
don't
show.
keep looking up. I got it. And then don't pull out your camera, but blink. We say blink when we're outside and you want to try to photograph
Make
it.
a mental
Uh-huh.
picture.
So blink a lot because we're going to get home and it's not going to be as beautiful.
Yeah.
Not getting grandeur fatigue in the house. No.
So tell us about your
Sorry.
trip, your Grand Canyon trip.
Oh.
Because I was gonna get you on the show before, and then I was like,
After.
I've got to get you
I
after because
definitely
I've
had
been
sore feet.
Yeah.
So I've got this group of adventure girls that I don't know, I'm really lucky to be a part of.
Yeah.
But I would say this. I mean, we've been friends for a long time. Like 10 years. There's some new girls in the group. It's getting bigger. Some people have moved away or whatever. But it's not the same girl always inviting and organizing. It's a total shakeup. Hey, do you want to go in my cabin and ski?
Interesting.
And we've just been saying this. It's so cool because one of the girls did the Grand Canyon last year and was like, this is awesome. So she know who to call, how to book, and planned this trip. But now we all know. So if we want to take our families, so they're so educational, these trips. Earlier this year, I did Kauai, the Napali Coast. I think the trail's called the Kalalau. And then with some of the same girls, some different, we just did Grand Canyon. And guess what I was actually saying? Because I was thinking about this sore feet podcast interview, the sore feet show. I think my feet were more sore on the Napali.
Really?
Because of the wet. And also I shed like a total layer of skin from my feet after that and lost a toenail. This one, I barely have a blister healing. But I think our mileage was definitely more in the Grand Canyon.
Yeah.
But I think my feet were more sore on the Napali. Have a group of girls, and if you don't have one, invite and create one.
I know get a group of girls.
I know that seems daunting. Well, you have a low-level group of boys. I think you and my husband have been invited to something this weekend, so the invites are definitely there.
Yeah.
But this one was a little crazy. We're like on a group text of 13. And do I use names? Brenna said, guys, I booked the 10 bunk cabin at Phantom Ranch, bottom of the Grand Canyon, September 29th. The first 10 girls that respond are in.
Whoa.
And I think I was like number 7. So then we had 3 girls drop out. One had strep throat the morning of. So we had a 15-minute replacement. I was sharing my Elementy electrolyte with her. It was awesome. I'm trying to think the other replacements, but so that's also nice. There's plenty of girls that always want to jump in.
Yeah.
What else do I say about that? The Grand Canyon.
Yeah. What did you think of Phantom Ranch? This is like a personal like me asking you about it because I did it back and it was incredible.
But you just ran past it.
We ate lunch there because we did like the rim to rim to rim.
Which I can't believe you did that.
It was stupid.
What time did you start?
I want to say it was 3 a.m.
Okay.
something, or 4.
And got to do you remember all the times? Because
No.
it's so
It's been too
crowded. There's so
long.
many people doing it. They say that the hot season for Grand Canyon starts October 1st.
Mm-hmm.
No, excuse me, September 1st. Because June, July, and August are just too hot. They usually have 3 medevacs a day in the summer.
Crazy.
And
Because
guess
it gets
what
like 120.
but
It gets insane.
this was fascinating, man. This made me think of you and your running crew. It's not the average. It's not the old people that you think. It's the average looking fit person because they think, I got this.
got it.
I don't have time to stop. I'm trying to hit a goal.
Yep.
Bonk.
I'll hit the next water spot and whatever.
And then the water's not going to be on and you didn't bring a stereo pen.
Yeah.
Oh, the water stations.
Yeah. So let's follow
Phantom
this.
Ranch was awesome.
Yeah. It's so cool.
We stayed in a cabin though. We didn't run past it like you.
Yeah.
But this was crazy.
We ate like a sandwich or something.
Yeah. The little provision hut. I'm like looking around and there's all these beautiful stone cabins that I knew we were going to stay in when I just felt so lucky. I kept saying we're on a leisure walk compared to all the runners. We're just jaunting down,
There's
staying
another
in a
runner.
stone cabin.
Was there a lot of runners?
No, guess
doing
what we
it?
said? Up the south, tons. Not as many at the north. But can you imagine a group of 10 girls in a line hiking?
Yeah, that's crazy.
And so we got to let everybody know. So we'd say, we've got a runner. And then we don't. And the first time we said it, the guy tripped on like a log's stair because I think we'd startled him. 10 girls saying, "We've got a runner." It was hilarious.
I mean, that's what a macho man wants.
I
You
know.
know, when he's
then-
he's trying to prove himself, running the Grand
Yes,
Canyon, have a bunch
to
of girls,
trip.
and he trips in front
He
of them.
actually handled it fantastic.
That's good.
He was probably in his 50s, super fit, handsome. So then we tried something else. We were like, oh, the first person to notice the runner could do a low cooey, and then all the 10 would say, "Get it." We were trying all these. That's the beauty of hiking with 10 girls.
That's
oh
so
my,
fun.
we're just like hiking and chatting and laughing.
Mm-hmm.
It's so wonderful.
That's where we're so different. And maybe I need to just try it
you
more.
are the solo.
I'm the solo guy. Like all of my big adventures,
Oh my gosh, man, we're so different
it's
in
like,
that way.
so when I did the Grand Canyon, I went with 4 guys and I left them. Like
Uncle?
it was my uncle,
Cousin?
his friend, and no, there's 5 of us.
Logan?
So it was me. Logan didn't go.
I'm trying to grasp if they're not their age. You're like, I got nothing to talk about.
I had one really good friend in high school and his dad
Okay.
that went, and then my uncle, and then his friend that went. And so it was mainly old guys. They were
Yeah.
probably like in their 40s, early 40s
You're
at
like,
the time.
no, I don't want to
I
talk
was
about your surgery
18.
yesterday.
And yeah, well, I felt like they were going slow, and so I ran ahead. Then I was an idiot.
You were
and
18.
Yeah.
Had you been
17.
running? Were you prepped?
No.
Oh my gosh.
I was just they were, and they were like, "Do you want to go do this?" And I'm like, "Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm tough, I'm cool." And so I go and do this, and made it down. We started at the North Rim, and we went down to the ranch, and then we were going up the South Rim, and they were going slow, and I was like, "I can
Which
run ahead."
trail? South Kaibab is shorter and steeper.
It
Bright
was the
Angel.
shorter, steeper one. It
did Bright
the
Angel.
Kaibab. And so I left
It
them.
also doesn't have water, Ben. That's
Yeah.
also why we did Bright Angel.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so there was a guy that was trying to break the world record for rim to rim to rim, running at the
Yes.
fastest. I
Yes.
linked up with his buddy who was trying to beat him to be
Oh,
with
or
all
pace him?
Nike and this and that because it was a big event. And
What
I'm
was
like,
the number? Do you know what the goal was?
it was like
rim?
8 something
rim.
hours
Oh my gosh.
or 7 hours. It was insane. It took us 19 hours.
Yeah.
And this guy was less than half the time.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I link up with him. We run up. They have the big fanfare. He does it. He breaks the world record.
You
so that
witnessed
was
the
cool.
whole fanfare.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
And then I waited, and it was like snow, like a foot of snow up top, and I'm in like little shorts and a tank top.
Right.
And I wait for like 3 hours for the rest of my group.
3 hours.
And so by the time we start going back, I'm dehydrated.
No.
I'm cramped, and the rest of the time it was just
Horrible.
terrible.
The
And-
whole way going back.
Yeah.
So you came down the same South Kaibab.
Yeah, and I didn't know anything about like hydration, nutrition, and so I
Yeah.
was all cramped. I didn't want to drink because I felt like crap, and I start to like when we start hiking up the north, it's like midnight, right? We're
Yeah.
trying to hike up the North Rim, and I start like throwing up and everything, and
Oh.
it was crazy.
So
But
you
yeah,
had a
I'm just
day
a s-
pack?
Yeah, we had like
Snacks.
camelbacks and snacks.
19 hours. I'm just really trying to.
Yeah,
So what'd you say, 3 a.m.? So you ended at like midnight?
yeah,
Is that
something
right?
like that.
11 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
Holy cow.
It was crazy, and the thing was like
Holy cow.
none of us knew what we were getting into.
Not
Like,
even
none,
your uncle? Who was
no.
the trip planner? Not even them?
I think
They
it-
just heard people do this. Let's go
They,
do
yeah,
this.
they heard that like people do rim to rim. Like, why don't we just do rim to rim to rim, and we don't have to shuttle across? Like, we can do it. What's another
That's
whatever
the
miles?
medevacs because people say that the Grand Canyon, it's so grand.
Yeah,
And that's why going with a friend, the one girl on our trip that knew what's up, her brother ran the shuttle for us. The car was waiting for us and staying in the bottom.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, if you can't stay in the bottom, then you're committed to doing the whole thing.
Sure.
And if you don't have a shuttle, you're committing to doing the whole thing twice.
Yeah.
And that's most people's option. When we were down there eating the steak dinner at Phantom Ranch, guess what the waitress said? She said, of the, I want to say 6 million, of the 6 million people that visit Grand Canyon, you are the 1% that's staying in, that made it down here. Because everybody sees it from the rim.
Yeah, yeah.
1% that made it down there. What percentage stays at Phantom Ranch? What percentage eats the steak dinner? I don't even.
No
so having
that's
a
the
friend,
way to do it.
But having a friend that knows what's up, that knows how to book all that, because most people don't know.
Sure.
No, it's just so.
Yeah.
When you go alone, you have to route find and figure it out, Ben. But if you go with a friend who's been there,
no, and I want to.
Yeah.
I want to. That's just always been my MO.
Man.
Is like, I just kind of go it alone with hunting. I just hunt alone.
Well, but I keep thinking about the hunting thing for you. You got to be quiet. You can't take me. Are you kidding?
Yeah.
Hey, Ben, could you pass me a Jolly Rancher? And then the rapper, and you're like, that group of elk just ran away.
Well,
Thanks, Sarah.
And I've done that. Like early on when I was hunting, I'd like take some friends and stuff, and I'm like, well, you just ruined that.
I know.
Or that you can't keep
different.
up. You know, like you want to rest, you want to stop, and it's like, no, we're gonna keep going.
The keeping up. You got to ask Steven about that. Summoning the Grand, him and 3 other guys. None of them had done it before, so route finding, but different paces.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, that's the thing.
That's what's beautiful about these girls too.
And I think it stemmed for me from like childhood, honestly, because my family didn't do a ton of like outdoor stuff.
So you
but
went
I
alone.
lived in this area, and I wanted to. I always just had that itch, and so I do it alone. I'd slip out when I was like 10 years old
but
down
also
to the river
I like
bottoms.
that. It's okay. Guess what? I can relate to you in one area.
Yeah.
Sunday afternoons, solo skate skiing. It's my jam.
That's your thing.
And I did it a lot without music, but because guess what? The skate skiing also, it's because the pace thing. I like to go alone. You know, if you feel like pushing yourself that day, if you feel like, so I do sometimes go solo.
There's no pressure of like making sure that you're okay, you're comfortable, we're going at you're just
having a moment.
Yep.
Oh, the winter, when you talk about the grandeur fatigue, for me in the winter, on the mornings that there's hoarfrost on the trees, or steam coming off the highway,
like sparkling in the air. Yeah.
So doing things solo, I think you dial into your 5 senses and you witness everything better. Whereas when you're chatting with the girls, you're like, don't forget to look up.
Yeah.
You know.
Which can carry you through some painful moments.
I was going to say that. Don't you have a question about like what happens when it gets hard?
Yeah. So let's jump into that. What are some of the, let's start with some of the big challenges that you face when you go out, or like a story, like one really crazy thing. Because that's a Sore Feet show, right? Like, that's the point of this, is the challenges we face, how we overcome them, why.
Okay.
So what's one of your bigs? What do you say, biggies?
Is this crazy? I'm one of my biggies?
One of your biggies?
Yeah, I didn't wear my biggie jeans. I should have. This is going to sound so frivolous, but for me, it's shoes. I was fretting over what shoes to wear in the Grand Canyon because all these other girls trail run a little more than me.
Sure. And
I love, you know how you go down that road. I love ultras, but their trail shoes don't have any stability.
Or cushion, yeah.
So, and did I bring my insoles or not? I brought the insoles. I wore them on the second day. Just overthinking that because you don't want to have sore feet. I want to be able to keep up with the girls. That's a challenge.
So what'd you do?
I brought the insoles and I wore them on the second day. I didn't bring a blister kit. I banked on one of the other girls having a blister kit. Yeah. But also, I'm just walking with the girls and I'm just chatting with my best girls and hiking. So I know that I can do that for X amount of hours.
Sure.
And it can distract me. And that's exactly what happened. Yeah. On the trip of 10, there were 2 Heathers and 2 Sarahs. I joke that everybody has to have another Sarah because me and this Sarah, we did Napali together and Grand Canyon together. Yeah. When we start to get sore and we call it loopy, I go, oh no, Sarah's getting a little loopy. It's my favorite time of day. And we just banter and joke and stumble. We're stumbling through the mud on Napali. And guess what we start doing? We start designing our dream restaurant with the seasonal menu. And we're just talking about the lily koi syrup. And you're just so involved in this conversation that your feet are moving and you barely realize. Yeah. So do I dare tell you? Guess what it was on this Grand Canyon trail? There's an old lady influencer on Instagram named Biabs.
Biabs.
I think she's from Jersey.
Probably.
And she starts off by saying, good morning, it's Biabs. And so what Sarah and I worked on for miles on the Grand Canyon is we made this is how to do the Grand Canyon with BABs. You're going to want your styrofoam cooler. Anyone will do, even the cheap one. And, and she walks you through it. And we're doing it and we're performing for the other girls.
That's incredible.
It's incredible. And then at the end, and this made the video too, at the end we say, and don't forget the blister kit. So you just
that segment right there. Don't forget the blister kit. That's going to be like the highlight reel.
Okay, and don't forget the blister kit. Yeah, but you got to see me and Sarah saying it together, bent over laughing on the water stop, and all the other 8 girls are just laughing. We're just having a good time.
Yeah.
Do you see?
Yeah.
So that's my secret weapon is have a Sarah Carter.
I think that's for life, right?
If you're hiking along and it gets hard, you just start talking about something funny or outrageous or the dreams. We say, where's your dream place to retire? And we're all chatting about that. With 10 girls, you ask one question. That gets you through like 4 miles. Yeah. So that, I don't know, the shoes when it gets hard. Oh, the new thing is I overhydrate. All those girls, we get to the first water station and they're all thirsty. Yeah. And I'm like, I've already drinking 2 Nalgene's.
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah.
Just gonna refill.
One was element, one was an electrolyte, one was not. So because you got to stay ahead of it, right?
You have to.
When they say your kid has a fever and you want to stay on top of the medicine, the ibuprofen, that's what the hydrating, I think.
Yeah.
Like overhydrate, pee in the woods.
100%.
Yeah.
That's something I've learned, especially this last year. Overhydrate.
Yeah, I know. You almost
drink
died.
so much. I know.
Ben.
Yeah.
No. That's when you need your people. Okay,
That's when you need your people.
One of the girls on the trip, she's kind of bougie. She goes, "Oh, all those electrolytes." I roll. Halfway up on the second day,
she's asking you for an
headache. She's like, "I have a headache, guys. I'm struggling." We all throw her our electrolytes, and she's like, "Okay, I think I was ignorant."
Yeah.
So going with people, you do learn a lot from each other.
I was going to ask that. So
cool.
like the pros of going with groups is that support system. You can laugh through it. The painful moments are easier. What's the cons? That?
Oh my. You say, do I dare to air all the dirty laundry?
You don't have to say any names.
No, but so we had the late breakfast at Phantom Ranch, which is at 6:30, and checkout was at 7:30. So 5 of the girls had talked about it the night before, saying we're going to do late breakfast and then we'll enjoy the beautiful bottom of Phantom Ranch and we'll leave at 7:30. But then the girls that went to bed at 7:30 wanted to start hiking before the heat.
Yeah.
So those girls ate breakfast for 20 minutes and started going. And we're like, wait, and that's me putting in my insoles, getting my feet all prepped for the second day. And I'm like, wait. So I was literally the last one. But then they all stopped at the river. So the timing and who's anxious to go, who wants to take. Some people want to stop and enjoy the view. Some people want to get out before the heat. Group dynamics are real. And then on the way back, we finish at 3. How far are we going to drive? Because the rough plan was we'll just drive as far as we can. Some girls wanted to stop at Page and sleep. Some girls wanted to drive all the way to Idaho.
Yeah.
You're in a car with 10. You got to make this decision together. It was rough.
Yeah.
But also, I mean, that was the bulk of it. We're pretty good. You can only join this group if you're low drama.
Yeah.
Chill, easy going.
Have you had the drama people in the past and you just don't invite them? They've gotten weeded out over the years.
This podcast gets out. Hawaii was hard. Napali was hard because it was going to be rainy and we had decided not to go. But we had all flown with our backpacking stuff to go.
Yeah.
Right? So we had the stuff. We had the permit, which is huge. And then we go to breakfast the morning at 10. I'm sitting at a table next to these guys with muddy hiking boots. I was like, you guys just get off the Napali Coast? They were like, yeah. He said, are you going? I said, we have the permits and this stuff, but we're not because it's supposed to rain tomorrow. And he was like, what? You have the permits and you have the stuff and you're here and you're not going to go? And I look at the girls. I think we're making a mistake. I think we should go. So then the drama arises and half the girls go and half don't.
Oh, really?
Because some girls were
so
like borderline convinced not to go. That was a little tough. So then we're hiking the first few miles with the weight of that. Like, man, we all wanted to be together.
Right.
Who had because it was also late in the day. If we were going to do it, we probably would have started at 5 a.m.
Yeah.
We made the decision at 10 to do it.
Oh, geez.
Yeah. Timing. So group dynamics. Also, when you say, guys, let's load up. If there's 10 girls and 2 hotel bathrooms, you can't all get in the van at the same time.
Right.
So there's group dynamics. I would say those are the cons, is opinions. fit, how'd you say that? Like your
different
fitness
level.
levels.
Yeah. Pace.
Yeah. Pace.
Because that's what I worry about. I don't do it a lot, but it's like if I want to bring somebody out, I'm worried about pace.
Yeah.
Them being able to go as hard or harder than me. And then.
Or harder. But don't you want to be pushed?
Yeah, I do. That's not a concern. But most people are.
Okay, I gotta ask.
They take their hunting casually.
Yeah. Oh. And don't go as far as you. But that's how you almost died. You're like, what's over that ridge?
Yeah, it's
and
not
I'm gonna leave my
healthy.
water.
It's an obsessive thing for sure.
Okay, but that's something that you can channel because sometimes our obsessions or your weaknesses are also like your greatest strengths.
Yeah.
You got the elk, Ben.
That's right.
Okay, I gotta ask.
24 hours left.
When you and Courtney went up Targhee with Steven and I, and we rode the chairlift down, was that a leisure walk for you? Were we evenly paced? How'd we do?
It was easy.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was good.
Yeah.
Like it was.
And it was a different thing because, and I think that
was a hike and chat.
Yeah, it was a hike and chat, and I'm good with that. It's like we're out here to be on the trail.
We're poets and we didn't even know it. That was a hike and chat, and I'm good with that. I like it.
Yeah. But when it's hunting, it's like you have a goal.
Yeah.
And it's like the faster you move, the more that you can cover ground. The earlier you can wake up, the better odds you are of reaching that goal.
Yes.
And so
many parameters.
A hike and chat.
A hike and chat. And I'm good with that.
Yeah, when we did that, I'm good with that.
I love
that. Was fine. Like,
yeah.
And we went slower.
We did have like babysitter parameters, didn't we? I don't know.
Probably. And I could tell
also,
Courtney, she just had Will, so I could tell she was getting tired. So I'm like, let's take a break here and enjoy the view.
Then what about when Courtney and I text her and say, let's pump up our mountain. She's like, what does pump mean? And I'm like, I don't know. Let's just do it as fast as we can. Are we hiking? Are we running? I don't know.
It's not a hike and chat. It's a pump up.
It's a pump up. I don't know. And so how'd we do? Did she say it was good?
Yeah.
Was it too much?
No.
Okay.
No, I think
or
it was good.
Sometimes I'm
was
like.
Was it bad?
No, it was great. But sometimes she's like, was it bad? Then we get to the top because I don't really run up because it's too steep and you want to warm up. But when we get to the top, then she's like, oh, you ready to run? And I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah, I said pump. Here we go. Then I feel like she was like pushing me, I think, on the runs.
She gets super competitive.
Yeah. But I think we were really even. Like,
that's good.
This is it. I got, even from getting down and driving home 15 minutes?
Yeah.
My face was still red when I got home. So Steven goes, oh, get it, girl.
Yeah,
you pumped it.
You got pumped.
You got a red face. So I knew I did all right. We had red faces.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, that's a great run.
Yeah.
I never run up.
I used to just do up. But so Steven will do pump up, run around the caldera twice.
Yeah.
Pump down.
Yeah.
That's a good.
That is good.
So if you go up and around and down once, that's 3.5.
Like yeah.
But I think you'd probably be about 5 if you do the thing if you do the caldera twice.
It's right over 5.
So that's a nice.
Yeah.
Okay, well Steven his Achilles is almost better.
I know.
So you guys could start doing it. I think he's ready to barely start. It just hurts,
Yeah.
It's like a weird internal that his dad said would take a while to heal.
It's kind of nasty looking still.
I know. You've been trying to what?
I've been trying to figure out what I'm going to do running this upcoming year.
Wait, are you not doing the Grand Canyon?
Not this.
Because you're going to Oklahoma to see the brother play football or what?
Yeah. I know.
I was thinking of you the whole
I was going to do rim to rim to rim this month.
I know. Now we're just chatting like friends. We're like, oh yeah, there's listeners. Sorry.
That's great. That's great.
I was channeling you when I was down there. I kept every time a runner passed, I'm like, dude, Ben's going to do this?
I know.
So our little cabin, our little stone hut, was right in front of the picnic tables outside the provision place, where everybody stops. All the rim to rim and rim to rim to rimmers stop. And I was thinking, I'm going to hear them all night because, people are stopping at those tables all night. Those stone walls knocked us in. But it was crazy to sleep right there thinking, we are here sleeping on mattresses.
Yeah, with steak in our bellies.
And people are right outside that door stopping every 15 minutes, all hours of the night. It was crazy.
It's so fun.
But just so many people are going and they're doing it.
Yeah.
Doing it in the dark. Did you not trip with a headlamp? Oh, it was a full moon. You probably didn't even need a headlamp the night that we were. Oh,
it's incredible.
Swimming in the Colorado under the full moon. Oh, it was magic. It was magic. And all the cold creek dips. You get hot, jump in the creek, keep going. So good. Okay.
It's an incredible place.
What are the questions, Ben?
So if somebody is trying to get into the outdoors?
Mm-hmm.
Since you're a certified expert
Yep.
in the outdoors.
Have you seen my badge? I have a patch. No.
You have a patch?
No, you said certified. So
Oh, I do have a patch question to ask you.
Oh,
But
I thought you were going to say I do have a tattoo. I'm actually certified.
I'm actually certified. No, well, what would be your advice? Go with a group with people that know?
I mean, when someone paddleboards a river for the first time, it's life-changing for them to do it with me.
Yeah.
You know how to get in, where to get in. And I'm like, So if you're going to do something new that you've never done before, going with someone who knows the drill versus figuring it out yourself is huge. But the invite is also huge. You got to make the time, take the time, get the babysitter. This is not good an answer. Okay.
It's great.
How do you get out there the first time?
Yeah.
I mean, we all have I really want to do da-da-da.
Sure. I think everybody deep down has a bit of that.
All the people in this area, in our area, Southeast Idaho, probably they see the Grand Tetons. I would die to summit the Grand Teton,
Right.
but they think they never will.
Yeah.
That is
Or that
totally doable.
It is.
Totally doable. If you ask all of your neighbors, someone's going to know someone who's done it.
Mm-hmm.
So to try to find a local guide or free, cheap, flexible. But then the guide companies, you could train for a summer, say, I'm going to hike 2 times a week.
Yeah.
In June and July, and then I'm going to hire some guide company and do it in August. Like, just do it.
Yeah.
Especially if it's something local that you see all the time and you're like, everybody does it. I should do that.
Yeah. Do you think people should start with being pretty honest with themselves of their capabilities, or do you think that people undersell their capabilities? Like they're like with the Grand, it's like, I could never do that. Do you think that people should be like, let's go, let's do it? Or do you think that they should baby step into it?
That is really hard because I think everybody's in one of the two camps, and I've rolled with people in both camps. I've been with people that say, I can cross country ski, I got this. And I think it's easy because classicing, you're in the grooves, like minimal falling.
Yeah.
And we go and we don't even go a mile, and they've fallen 3 times and they're like, you know what, I'm out. And I'm like, okay, let's go back to the car because this is not very fun for me too. Well, do you know what I mean?
It's
like,
true.
I'm trying to encourage you, but you keep falling. So
that's me and Courtney snowboarding.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And you got it, and she doesn't.
Yeah, I grew up snowboarding,
Yeah.
like almost obsessively, and I tried to teach her, and she's getting really frustrated, and I'm getting frustrated because I'm like, I just want to snowboard, like just stand up.
Yes.
This is so easy.
Yeah, even if you're just gonna slide down.
Yeah.
So teaching can be, it's different with our spouses, Ben.
It is.
When Steven and I got road bikes and we're pumping up, I use the term pumping again, we're pumping up Sunnyside.
Yeah.
I mean, I had never sworn my entire life. And he's teaching me how to shift as we're road biking up Sunnyside. And I'm like, I didn't even know I knew those 10 words.
Yeah. It gets personal.
Yeah.
It gets personal.
When you do, but then it's so good because now I love road biking.
Yeah.
That's like probably my number 3 summer thing.
Yeah.
Number
3.
Number 2 is gardening. Number 1, paddleboarding rivers.
I think we're getting close on time.
Oh.
I do have one question.
You have a 10 o'clock?
I have a 10 o'clock. It's 10:02.
Wait, what else do I really want to say?
I have a question to ask, and then we'll give you time to think about wrapping it all up.
Always jump in the cold water. If you're hiking, if you're out and your feet are sore and you see the cold water and you don't want to slurp the wet sports bra over your shoulders and worry about tearing your rotator. Oh, boys don't know. Taking off a sports bra when you're sweaty, the worst.
A terrible visual.
Putting it back on when you're wet, double the worst. But guess what? Jump in the cold water. That's what I always do.
You have a thing with skinny dipping.
You get
Sarah.
totally. Well, no. Okay, you can leave the sports bra on. Sure. If you're in the Grand Canyon and you're gonna dry out, leave it on, or whatever. But just, it's so refreshing. It's so worth it. Trekking poles and steri pens.
Okay, what's trekking poles and steri pens? Bring those.
Yeah. 2 years ago, I thought trekking poles were nerdy. I'm like, this is weird. Is it every other, or how do these work? But when you're carrying a kid, when you're carrying a pack, if you're going far, if you're going downhill or uphill, take the trekking poles. It saves it's like you want to be a spider, right? Not a what's a two-legged? Not a human. But
Sure.
I'm just converted.
Yeah.
And it's not just the old people with them anymore.
Yeah, and it takes weight off your legs too.
It takes weight
so
off
when
the
you're going
legs.
18 miles or whatever it is,
It's both. It saves your legs and stability crossing the river. Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
when you're on the slippery rocks crossing the river. And then SteriPen, because hydration is key.
Yeah.
And you never know if you're going to be right. Like,
So your SteriPen, do you ever use like
the
tablets or a filter?
I just know SteriPens, they just
Yeah.
go easy in the Nalgene, but also is because I like a light pack.
Sure.
So if with the SteriPen, you just fill the water bottle, steri it, and then you can hike with no water if you know how far your next water source is, which I like. I'm all about.
Or if you're walking along a creek or something.
Yes, minimal weight. So
Yeah.
the SteriPen just feels easy to me. But those are just in the last year, all these different things that I've done. I'm like, those are my two number ones. They're tied.
What else?
Okay.
What else you got?
Don't overthink it. When you said, where do we start?
Yeah.
Don't overthink it. Just get out there. Just try it. Look like a fool. Go by yourself. Ask the friend. Just go
Yeah.
and do it and try it.
The more I go into the outdoors, the more I realize there are no like real experts.
Yeah. Oh.
You know, like there's no
Everybody's
like
just doing it.
Everyone's just
Doing
doing
it
it,
to
and
the
they
best.
have their own way to do it. There's no like this is the only way to go and hike to this area.
Totally.
So go
They
out there and be an
either,
idiot.
like you, figured it out on their own. So that you're just doing it the best you know.
Yeah.
Or you're doing it the way your dad taught you or your
Right.
grandpa. You just do it. Don't
Yeah.
overthink it.
Yeah, I
You're
love
more
that.
capable than you think you are. Always be in shape enough so when the girls call and say,
Yeah.
let's go do the Grand Canyon, you can say yes.
You can go.
When someone says, we're hiking the Grand Teton this weekend and we had somebody drop out, do you want to be our fourth? Always be in shape enough. You don't have to be like, right? The Grand
Yeah.
Teton's a little bit bigger, but could
Yeah.
you do it? Totally.
Mm-hmm.
Be in shape enough that you can always accept any opportunity that comes your way.
agree with that.
I think that's it. Good pals, good convo. But don't forget the Sunday skate skis. Sometimes solo is good, right, man?
That's right. It's so
When
fun.
you're going with kids, bring the candy. Bring the stuff with the sugar and the red dye, even though maybe that's not good for our kids. I don't know.
You got to get them
But
through it.
yeah, Jolly Rancher at every
Jolly
mile.
Ranchers.
We want to be the parents that expose them so that they're not scared,
We do.
right?
Absolutely.
We want to be that for them.
Help
Okay.
build that confidence so that they want to venture past where we took them.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
don't want to, I was about to say it, be what we wish we had, but I don't want to say that.
No.
Sorry.
No.
Cut that.
We're taking a
Taking a, okay,
dark
therapy.
turn here.
Therapy session.
This is a good transition. So,
Question.
I've had this preconceived notion that
I'm scared. Are you asking all of your guests at the end or just me?
this is specific to you.
Terrifying.
That
I'm twisting. Can you see I'm
yeah,
uncomfortable?
I can tell you're fidgeting now. That
Really?
the
Do you have a
Rotary
fidget spinner?
Club was a bunch of white old
Steven told
men.
you to do that.
No, he didn't. I do my research.
Oh my.
I
Do you
researched
Google me? Is that on
I
there?
figured out.
I was a member of the Rotary.
You were a Rotarian, so please explain.
Or you thought you were going to ask me like if there's something, there's the four, there's like a motto, the 4 points of truth. I thought you were going to ask me to quote it and I cannot. First, is it the truth? Second, is it, I got nothing. I think first, is it the truth?
How did you get with the Rotary Club, Sarah? I legit thought it was like a bunch of old white men. Sorry, not to be like politically incorrect.
We
but
ate at Dixie's Diner in
That's
Idaho Falls on
hilarious.
Wednesdays for lunch.
You got
And
a plaque
I think I all of it.
and the pin.
Yes. Yes. I grew up in New Mexico. I was doing radio sales in Idaho.
Uh-huh.
I did not know. When you do sales and you know the businesses,
Yeah.
right? I was just a fish out of water. So I'm like, I got to get to know the people. I got to just jump in, dive in. Right. So it was
Yeah.
to learn, oh, these are the 10 banks in the area because most of them are bankers or like Edwards Jones or I'm trying to think the other ones.
Old white people. Yeah.
Oh my,
That's
I
so
love
funny.
talking with everyone. Obviously,
Yeah.
I'll talk with a rock if I'm hiking alone. That's why I did it though, to try to get a grasp on the area because I wasn't from there.
Yeah. That's so
It was
fun.
awesome.
It's so fun.
I was a Rotarian with the oldies.
Okay.
I don't even know if there were other girls.
Last question.
Oh, that wasn't it. Okay.
What's your upcoming trip? What's the next big one? The next biggie.
Denanda Falls.
Denanda Falls.
Yeah.
Are you gonna try to do it this year?
Yes. We're wondering if the Browns, our cabin, we were thinking we'd go stay at the cabin Friday and Saturday night, and their kids watch our kids. We'll be gone Saturday for 10 hours, not camp.
Yeah.
Day hike it. Should we be telling the listeners? It's in Yellowstone.
Yeah.
It's hot springs at the bottom of a waterfall, 8 miles flat. I really want to camp there, but I think we're going to day hike it because then you don't have to get the permit, less babysitting for the kids. But I've been dying to go. I just want to have enough time to soak. And I love soaking at night with minimal hinderings.
With your girl jams just blaring.
Who knows if it'll be a full moon? No jams. Nature's solace.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
But giggles for sure. Denana Falls is next.
That's awesome.
On the list.
How do people find you to follow you?
Oh, gosh. I have like 72 followers on Instagram. Sarah Hen. Steven and I are Sarah Hen and Sven Hen. Sarahhen. I did just make a cool Grand Canyon reel. Check it out.
So Instagram, it's the best place to find you.
Yeah, but also not Instagram. I'm hit or miss,
Yeah.
I'll do a photo dump and then I won't be on for 3 weeks. So where's the best place to find me? Out there. In nature. Wander into nature. You'll find Sarah talking to a rock. Sundays skiing the golf course.
Yeah.
You got to find me out there.
Out there. I love it. Well, Sarah, thank you.
Or in the sauna.
In the sauna.
In the sauna.
Side note, there's a sauna being built in Sarah's backyard, and it's going to be incredible.
Or in the sauna. That's where I'd love to have chats. All listeners,
we
come.
should bring this stuff in there.
I'll meet you.
Melt the gear.
I know. We've been talking about phones, candles. You can only bring certain things in, but that's a good thing.
That is a good thing.
Okay. This is why I was the first. You're like, she's going to be the hardest to wrap up. So this will be good practice.
I tried to wrap up like 4 times. I'm just kidding.
Sore feet, ladies and gentlemen. Sore feet.
Sarah, thank you for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me.
This was so fun.
It wasn't that bad.
It wasn't. It was great.
I still have some tea.
It was great. Drink it up. You've been talking the whole time. I'm just kidding. Everybody, thank you for listening to this show. Look at Sarah on. Look at Sarah. That's weird.
Find me on Instagram.
Find her on Instagram or go find her out there. Thanks for listening to the show, guys. As always, take it easy and stay adventurous.
Oh, you had to do that for the end.
Yeah, a little catchphrase.